So I heard you say AI and ML, and I think that those terms are terms we've definitely been hearing a lot in boardrooms lately. So there's no secret that business leaders are beginning to understand the importance of data and analytics, more notably to accelerate their digital business initiatives. So from my perspective, how are you seeing data and analytics transform from a secondary business focus to a core business function? I mean, more along the lines of now having a seat at the table within the boardroom.
Yeah, I think it's this movement of, from a gut feeling. When I started in this business, I don't know, 25 years ago, a lot of times you make decisions on data, but it was more of an intuition and a gut feel. What I've seen over time is that's become much more built around data that's much more detailed. It's much more useful, actionable. And it really starts to tell you things like I mentioned, we look at network adequacy where we can drive into a specific county. We can look at the number of providers that are 50 miles away from the patients and all that kind of analysis. I don't even know if 5 years ago we would be able to do that because if the data wasn't there, we certainly, Excel couldn't handle that 5 years ago. So we leveraged lots of data analytics tools and data to drive decisions, and data has become sort of a pillar of our executive team's decision making. We use data to identify markets, identify potential profitability options. We use data to identify target providers, target customers. So we've made a pretty big investment into analytics and data.
Great. So my last question brings me to kind of just talking about what you hit on previously, right? So new capabilities within the past 5 years, as well as kind of the transformation you're doing in public cloud. I guess my question would be is, what's one thing you'd wish you'd known? And it doesn't have to be within 2 years, it could be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago, as pertains specifically to data and analytics.
Oh, as it pertains to data analytics, one thing I wish I would have known.
It can also be generally around operationalizing public cloud too, because I think that's a challenge we see that comes up a lot as well.
Yeah, I think there's probably two. On the public cloud side, it's not as easy as they want you to believe. I think both Azure and AWS, and no difference to them, but they want you to think that it's wizards and this and that, and you click and it works, right? What we've found is it actually takes a lot of work, a lot of thought and architecture time, design time, trial and error. It takes the security parameters. There's so much security options that it really takes time to test out what's right for you. And so my advice would be, if you were doing this for the first time, would be not only select the cloud platform you feel most comfortable with, but have people on your team or consultants. Probably your company probably does some of that, I would imagine. Have consultants that can help guide you, and that was one of the things that we did. Is we're a small shop, and so we outsource things like show me how to configure Power BI on multiple regions in Azure. We'll go out to our consulting groups and have them help us configure that. Whereas in a on-premises world, we probably would have hired all those people, right? So that reduces our costs, but at the same time, it's like you have to sort of find the trail through the woods, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Sure, absolutely. Stuart, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate your candor and love your insight. I want to thank the viewers for watching, and please visit ctomagazine.tech for any additional interviews on these topics.